A lot of you are copying your idols blindly. You copy their routines, you copy their mannerisms, you might even buy their courses, their ebooks, whatever, and this is exactly why you will never be like them. You will never achieve their flashy lifestyle, you will never achieve their monumental success, because you fail to realize and you fail to consider that you are your own unique person with your own unique sets of strengths, weaknesses, and that everything that they do, you can't really do. And this way you just end up becoming a Timu version of them. And nobody wants that. What you need to do is to realize that every successful person that you admire, every role model that you have, is actually an asset that you can exploit. Just like our guy Isagi did during his game with Nagi against Baro and Naruhaya. And during this game, our protagonist, he came to a conclusion so powerful that not only allowed him to save his ass from elimination, but to actually climb the ranks of Bluelock, becoming the top guy that he is right now. So, based on this concept, I designed a 3-step protocol for myself that allows me to, as I said, exploit all the role models I have, all the people I admire, and people in my proximity, so I benefit off of their success. Okay, so today I'm going to cover that exactly like I use it, so you can copy me and achieve some success too. So let's go over it. The first step is to observe. What is Andrew Tate's favorite quote? My unmatched perspicacity coupled with sheer indefatigability makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. Now, when I first heard him say that, I just thought, bro is speaking like this to appear smarter, to appear more intelligent than he actually is. And now later I'm realizing that this quote is filled with so much wisdom, so much knowledge, but let's focus on the first part of it, my unmatched perspicacity. So perspicacity, that's the word of the day. What does it mean? It means the ability to notice the details, to notice how things are set up, what are the system, how is it designed, and things like that, that sort, to have a good noticing ability. And what do you notice for? What do you look for? Well, you look for the other people's goal scoring formula. And if you aren't familiar with this term, if you aren't familiar with this concept, you can go back and watch my previous video. You know, this channel is based on all the concepts of Bluelock and how you can apply it in your own life. But the goal scoring formula is basically the other person's weapon and the situation that they can use it at. They can actually abuse it to, well, achieve success. So, you need to take note of that goal scoring formula, the weapon, and how they use it. So, let's illustrate it with Isagi in this match. Isagi already knew Baro's goal scoring formula, he already knew Nagi's goal scoring formula. But Naruhaya, he was a fraudster during the first selection, so he didn't really know his formula. He didn't really know how to use it or what to look for. So he started observing the field, started observing how Naruhaya plays, what he likes to do, how he likes to do it. And yeah, basically that's it. Just look for the formula. Now, let's go to the next step, okay? The next step is to analyze. And what do you analyze? Well, you analyze the formula that you just observed. And you ask yourself this very important question. Can you actually use the formula the way they do it? And can you do it effectively? Like, can you repeat the usage of their formula? Can you do it consistently to achieve the same success? Okay? Now, let's be more practical here. How did Isagi use this step? He analyzed two things. One, that he can't suddenly grow Baro's physique, like this is impossible. And he couldn't just learned how to trap the ball like Nagi did. So their formulas, he couldn't replicate them. But Naruhaya, this fraudster, was just running around the field, entering people's blind spaces and abusing that to make counterattacks. So this was pretty much very easy for Isagi to replicate. But see here, Isagi had one problem, and that was Naruhaya was actively doing the same to him. And this brings us to the third and final step of this protocol, which actually determines if you're going to be successful or not, okay? And that step is execution. Here, based on your answer of the questions I told you to ask yourself in the second step, can you repeat that formula and can you repeat it effectively? Based on these answers, you do certain things. So let's cover the first thing. If you can actively use that formula, if you can repeat it effectively, okay, steal it, make it your own, improve on it, and just score goals, like make it yours now. Make tweaks on it if you need to. So now let's get back to the match. Naruhaya, he failed to answer correctly. He failed to realize that to copy Isagi's formula and to do it correctly, he actually had to practice the direct shot. It's not something easy to do. So what did he do? He took the ball and failed to score a goal. He just failed. Because his analyzation wasn't proper. It wasn't good enough, so he failed on the execution part. And what Isagi did? Isagi stole the goal, launched a counterattack using Naruhaya's weapon, Naruhaya's formula, outclassed Barrow, and scored a goal, which sent Naruhaya back to the trenches, where he now probably does script root pulls on his day off McDonald's. So yeah, this is how you use it if you can properly copy and you can properly utilize the formula. But you see, as I said, you're your own unique person with your own sets of strengths, weaknesses, and you won't realistically be able to copy everybody's formula all of the time. So what do you do then? What do you do if the answer to these questions here during the analyzation process is a no? Well, you need to find a way to enable these people to use their formula to succeed in whatever they do in a way that also benefits you. So essentially you will leech off of them, okay? Let's illustrate this using the next match. Nagi, Barrow and Isagi against Reo, Chigiri and his boyfriend. So, during that match, Isagi just couldn't produce a chemical reaction with Barrow. And this pissed him off. But it didn't only piss him off. But this didn't just piss him off. This caused them to get behind on goals. And there was a danger of them losing the game. So Isagi gave up on trying to communicate with Barrow. He gave up on trying to make friends with him and just play as a team. No. What he did instead is he used the threat of Barrow's charge, the threat of Barrow scoring a goal, because although Barrow failed on every single one of his attempts up until that point, he was still a very big threat. And he used his charge to make the enemy team focus their defense on Barrow. And using that focus on that particular part of the field, Isagi and Nagi, advanced forward and scored a nasty goal. Not only that, they repeated that and scored another nasty goal. So nasty that it sent Barrow down into a depression spiral. And that depression spiral was so bad for Barrow, it actually made him have an epiphany. He reached the same conclusion as Isagi, that he needs to devour other people. And using that conclusion, using that devouring protocol, he devoured Isagi back and led him to score a goal on his own, the final goal, so nasty that he went back to flex on Isagi. So now you saw two goats using this method. So you know it's goated. Now for some personal anecdotes, how I use this protocol to, devour people in my life. First person, Andrew Tate. Sounds kind of gay, I devoured Andrew Tate, but I promise you, no homo. So, what was his formula? His unmatched perspicacity coupled with sheer indefatigability. That's literally his goal scoring formula. So I learned how to be perspicacious, as he likes to say. So I learned how to spot trends in the businesses that I'm running. Told you this is not really a business channel, really it's a self-improvement channel based on the Bluelock series, because I believe there's tons of value in that. But just to share this example with you, I learned how to spot the trends, how to pitch, how to sell, just like him, because he's an awesome salesperson. He has awesome sales advice. I learned to be indefatigable, because to be indefatigable, it might sound impossible, but trust me, there are ways, there is a certain diet, there are things that you can do in order to not be fatigued, to just be like a lamp, like he likes to say. There is just a switch. You're either on or you're off. You're not tired. You just are either awake or asleep. So there are some things that you can do in order to do that. And I will probably make a video on that in the future. This is a guy who I devoured because I could use his formula. Okay, now, for an instance where I couldn't devour the person, but I used their own goal scoring formula to benefit of it. So my girlfriend, I tried to push her into the entrepreneurial path. She was making some wall decorations out of the love for the craft, you know. And I thought it would be really cool if she started an e-commerce brand trying to sell this as some premium craftsmanships. Well, I tried to push her that on her, but she just isn't that type of person. She doesn't want to be, how do I say it? She's not that person who can just think for herself. She's not that person. She needs orders, what I'm trying to say. So she failed with that business. However, she's an awesome employee. And this led me to, well, employ her in one of my businesses. And she's a great help, because when she's given direction, when she's given instructions, this is the way she likes to work. She doesn't want to be the architect behind the plan. She just wants to be the worker. She wants to execute on the vision, but she doesn't want to be the one who is in charge, if that makes sense, okay? So this is how I enable her to use her own goal scoring formula for my own success, to score goals for me, okay? So now you learn the protocol, you know why you should use it, you know how to use it, but in order to do that, you need peak concentration, you need peak focus. And to achieve that, the regular performative rituals that the other gurus in the self-improvement niche that they give you, you know that it's not going to work. It might work for the normies, but the guys who watch this channel, you know you want more out of life. You know you are egotistical enough to pursue success beyond your wildest dreams. So, in order to achieve that level of focus, you need to enter flow state. So come back for the next video where I'm going to teach you how to enter flow state on command, just like that. But until then, lock off.